Welcome to a bonus episode of Hip Hop Movie Club. As always, here are your HHMCs, Boogie, JB, and Dino Wright. Happy birthday to us. Happy anniversary to us.
Happy birthday to us. Yeah, so we're going to do a special episode here on the 1 year anniversary of Hip Hop Movie Club going live. Party favors and hats for everybody.
Yay.
Fireworks.
Will there be cake?
Yeah.
Want some cake?
I hope so. Yes. Well, congrats, guys. This has been a nice, fun run, and we're just getting started here.
No doubt.
Let's reflect. Yeah, let's reflect on year one. So, big shout out to Dino Wright actually for coming up with the idea, being a podcast enthusiast, doing multiple podcasts, and saying, "Hey, I gotta do stuff about hip hop and movies, and nothing like this is really being done." So, Boogie and JB, can you do this? And we're like, "Yes, we're in."
Can we kick it?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Boogie, what would you consider some of the highlights for yourself for year one? Or some of your favorite moments and milestones?
Yeah, I think just the general overall reception to the podcast. Like when you step out in an adventure like this, you're not really sure what's going to happen or how people are going to receive it. Just knowing that, there's people all over the world, we'll get to that a little later, that have, been checking us out. It's pretty cool. And I think also, in addition to just, our regular podcast format, just stepping away from the podcast and trying to expand out into the community, going down to our alma mater, Rider University, and speaking with the students there for Black History Month, that was really cool. It's always good to share knowledge. And I think, we always mention the 4 core elements of hip hop. There's also been a 5th one added, which is knowledge, spreading the knowledge from one generation to the next to keep everyone in tune with what's going on so that we know where we came from, to keep moving forward. So just being able to spread that knowledge that we've been able to accumulate over the course of recording and viewing these films, just because, we get deep sometimes, and we find some little tidbits and things like that. And it's good to share that. And I think that being able to do things and to continue to do things like that will always be a highlight for me.
Excellent. Yeah, I was going to mention that the panel at Rider U, we were talking about silver mics on the silver screen, how a lot of folks have crossed over from hip hop into film and have had success. That was a nice panel discussion we had. We also, Dinah Wright and I were able to go to On Air Fest, and we made some good networking contacts over there in Brooklyn. Really good time. And in fact, we met Ronald Young Jr., a big Ron, and he will be featured on a show coming up. We made a nice back there. He emceed day one of that event. Very enthusiastic about it. And we had a great opportunity to promote a couple shows, movies. So On the Come Up, Fight the Power, How Hip Hop Changed the World. We were approached to promote those through our podcast and social media, and that was a really cool experience. Those are some highlights for me, among other things. Donna, what comes to mind for you as well?
I think the cool thing for me, the highlight, besides the panel discussion, which was really great, we had a current undergrad and a film professor from Rider join us, and it was really great to get deep into some of these hip-hop movie issues. The really cool thing for me is that this has been an extension of those pillars of hip-hop. We've talked about the music, the dancing, the graffiti, and this is a way to extend hip-hop into storytelling through film. And it's been really great to explore this space with all the different movies we've watched and the movies we will watch. So it's been so fun. And plus all these movies that I had never seen before.
Yeah, I'm learning so much. A lot of movies that I have not seen and I should have seen, and it's making me watch them and appreciate them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the timing is perfect. This is the 50th anniversary of the hip hop this year in August. So,
excellent point.
What better time? Do you guys have like a favorite episode that you thought was the most fun to record or talk about? I know, Boogie, you were the biggest connoisseur of hip hop themed movies. So, to relive some of these, I know you take joy in doing so. What were a few that brought you back?
I think for me, the ones that were probably most fun to talk about was obviously for me would be the comedies. Like the Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood, Disorderlies, House Party, Friday, CB4. Those, like even How High, like those movies, those movies were fun. Like I enjoy watching them. They make me laugh. They have that slapstick appeal to them. Those movies were fun. Like I enjoy watching them. They make me laugh. They have that slapstick appeal to them. They're like feel good movies for me. Like I can't not watch them and not smile at them. But then like I mentioned before, we did get a little deep with a few of the episodes, like the Do the Right Thing episode. That was very enjoyable as well because I felt like we had a meaningful discussion about it, and I think that anyone who listened to that episode could feel the same way about it, to see where we're coming from and how we stand on different issues, that face the community. And I think it was pretty clear in that episode, how we discussed that movie as well. But yeah, I mean, I'll say those ones. I mean, I definitely enjoyed all of them, honestly, but those are the ones that I would probably say were the most fun. The comedies, because we laughed so hard on those ones.
We did.
They got to be so silly. I remember like after some of those recordings, like my face hurt from laughing. That's always a good feeling. Especially after a long day and just me hanging out with you guys and just I mean, we're handling business, but we're handling business and having fun at the same time.
Right on.
Yeah, done it right. What about yourself?
I had a lot of favorite episodes, but the thing that I really enjoyed, besides the comedies, which were terrific, and I'll use any excuse to watch Friday, but for me, the little socially conscious ones are the ones with the social statements, or the one that really got into the filmmaking part of it. I really enjoyed. So Do the Right Thing was one. Boys in the Hood was one. Juice. Just Tupac's acting performance in that was just so compelling that I really enjoyed, one, watching the movie, and two, talking about it with you all. It was really fun. It's been a great project. Go through all these pieces of art. It's been really great.
Yeah, I don't think I can add much to more. I was thinking the very same thing. The comedies are obviously the most fun because we are laughing a mile a minute at a lot of these, like House Party and Friday. They're so quotable that they're part of our daily lexicon. And now you see where it all came from. Agree with you also, Donna Wright and Boogie. Like the thought-provoking movies are just so great to dive into and explore. Do the Right Thing, we had some debate questions about racism and police brutality and some of these very important topics. So I think it's very powerful. And then the crime dramas, it just blows your mind. Boys in the Hood, Juice. And then even, getting some of the more modern movies like Straight Outta Compton, how well they portray NWA. And then we didn't produce this one just yet, but it's in the can and it'll come out later this year. We'll talk about Hamilton and how you can portray was like pretty much all these old white leaders portrayed by people of color using hip hop to tell a story. And we all know how popular that was and still is. So you can see the influence of hip hop throughout the years.
You mentioned movies that we hadn't actually seen that we should have seen, and for me, Hamilton was definitely one. I thought I was the last person on earth not to have seen it, and there's always a risk, especially it's been a long time since it came out in the movies on Netflix. So would it been too long, and would the hype be too much? But I was not to spoil it, my impression of it, but I was more moved than I thought I would be, and kudos to Lin-Manuel Miranda on that.
Yeah, it's such a dynamic play, and the thought that went into it. I mean, that's genius level thinking right there.
Yeah. The lyrics and the different stylings of hip hop and telling the story. Yeah. It just blows your mind. But also, speaking of movies that we should have seen long ago, like Boogie turned us on as we first started. We started with Beat Street and Wild Style, and that was the early hip hop origins, and it's showing all the elements. And you could see how, we talked about this on several episodes, how hip hop was very localized, regionalized, in the South Bronx, and then other areas of New York City, and no one knew what kind of future it would have. And obviously it's a multi-billion-dollar industry today. So to see those movies being put out on film and captured, and then, we even saw a documentary, Style Wars, a lot about the graffiti and tagging and the origins of that. It's a great history lesson to go back and watch it through film.
Absolutely.
So how do you see the podcast evolving in year 2? There's a lot more that we can watch and we can do. What should our listeners be looking forward to in year 2? And I know internally we talked about some changes that we're going to make. I think what we're going to do is switch up the format a little bit, maybe provide some other designated segments, maybe some trivia, some other elements. So you can look forward to some of that. And I think more guests. We're going to try to get a few more guests on. Anything else that you guys want to mention that you're looking forward to in year 2? Maybe other movies that we want to see, or anything else we want to talk about?
Yeah, in addition to reviewing more movies and, like you said, bringing on some guests, getting their perspective on things, some more community outreach, getting out into the community, various events. We got some things that we will be discussing. So yeah, our listeners can look forward to that and, seeing us a little more visible. And I think maybe, possibly, doing some music videos probably, and maybe some songs and things like that. Just because, movies, they're finite, like not as often as the music itself. So yeah, maybe checking out some of those classic videos and things like that might be a good way to go as well. But yeah, I look forward to having some guests on as well. Some more community outreach type events, things like that.
What I'd add to that is that we're going to lean into why these films are worth seeing, and so it'd be good for people listening. Those of you listening, let us know what you might want to see coming up on Hip Hop Movie Club. We do this for you.
Maybe a live episode.
Yes, a live episode would be great.
Live episode.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Happen. Live episode, have some giveaways, and have a good time. Yeah, we'll be doing something special for the 50th anniversary of hip hop, which will be coming up in August. So look forward to something like that. And maybe other field trips that we'll do. We did do a field, I forgot to mention, early on, over last summer, we did a field trip up to the Grammy Museum in Newark. And they had an awesome hip hop exhibit that Brother Ernie had provided a lot of his photographs from over the years. And it was a really awesome display. So we talked about that also. So other little events like that. I know the Universal Hip Hop Museum in the South Bronx is still being built, but they're holding events. There's another hip hop museum in DC. There's a lot of symposiums and other events commemorating the 50th year anniversary of hip hop. So something around that we'll hook up with.
It's certainly going to be a fun summer around hip hop.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. I'm going to be outside.
Vitamin D for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So from our first season of Hip Hop Origin Stories, what have been your favorites?
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably going to be Beat Street.
Okay.
Just because I absolutely love that film. I've loved it ever since the first time I've seen it. And it's one of those movies that no matter what I'm doing, if I ever catch it on, I'll always sit down and watch it. It doesn't come on as often now, but I remember back when it was, in heavy rotation, no matter what I was doing, if I saw the credits or heard part of it come on, I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm watching film. And it still has that same hold over me to this day. So just being able to go over that one with you guys, that's probably my favorite one there.
Yeah, my initial answer to this was also Beat Street, but since Boogie talked about it so eloquently, but besides Beat Street, Break-In was also fun because it was very quintessentially 80s, and Turbo and Ozone are iconic. We try not to use that word too much, but they really are iconic. But
Yeah.
of the ones we saw, those first 5 episodes, Style Wars for me was really impactful. And so it was a documentary, but still came from that time, and that was something that I thought was really stuck with me.
Yeah, I would rate Beat Street tops and Break-In 2 for myself, but definitely Style Wars was very educational. And even back then, I love their song choice. They chose that. We were talking about that. The Message they used, and a few other really great songs like "Rockin' It." And it was just great to see authenticity. The battle with graffiti and the New York Police Department, etc., and Port Authority.
Yeah, Star Wars was very well done for that time period, and it still holds up to this day in relevancy. Yeah, absolutely.
And which of the comedies made you laugh the most? I know it's hard to narrow down, but we did two different seasons on comedies. Which one were you just like nonstop laughing, watching, or recording? For me, I think it's Don't Be a Menace to South Central, just because it spoofs everything and just like laugh after laugh after laugh after laugh. It doesn't let up.
The density of it is just much more than the other movies.
There's layers to this. Right. Especially if you've watched even a chunk of like a portion of the movies that they're spoofed. Even if you haven't watched the movies that are spoofed, it's still funny.
Yes.
And it's even funnier if you've watched the movies.
Yes. I mean, Friday's a classic, but Don't Be a Menace was, pound for pound, a very funny movie. Yeah,
Friday delivers some messages. So it's got some, it's got like a little bit, it's got some serious tones to it as well. But yeah, Don't Be a Menace was just pure, like, nonstop. Like, I watched that like I watched Airplane or Naked Gun or something like that. It was just joke after joke. It's like one scene is a joke, and then that scene ends goes right to the next scene, which is a whole other joke, and another scene is another joke. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Classic movie.
Speaking of Airplane, we did Soul Plane also, which was a lot of laughs.
That'll be coming out by the time this comes out. It'll be soon coming out.
We talked briefly about some of the dramas. So many good ones. Paid in Full, Juice, Boys in the Hood, New Jack City. Outstanding. Is there one that jumps off the page for you guys that this stands above the rest? Boogie, do you have one that you hold on a higher pedestal?
Yeah, I think out of these ones, I would probably say Juice. I mean, Tupac's portrayal in that movie is just pure classic gold right there. Like he was just, his character was so convincing that you look at him and you're like, wow, this guy, like, you really don't like him because you can see how twisted his mind is and the way he operates, and just the pure fact of he was bold enough to not only murder his friend, but then show up at his friend's funeral and act like nothing happened, and then just hugging his mother and comforting his sister. I'm like, what is, like, that's twisted on a whole other level. He did it with a straight face, like. So that I think just the acting in that movie, and also I'm so hooked on like any scenes with Q DJing too. So, but yeah, there's so many cameos as well. I mean, but I think Juice would probably be the one for me out of those.
How about you, Dynamite?
I think it's also Juice for me. I was almost going to say Boys in the Hood, but from a strictly hip hop standpoint, there was more of the hip hop parts to Juice. The DJ parts, using hip hop as sort of an escape or like an avenue out of limited situations. Again, we all mentioned this. The Tupac acting performance in this is transcendent.
Totally agree. Yeah, Juice stands out.
But they were all good movies, though.
Well,
that set of crime dramas were really good.
Oh yeah, and we watched a few that were semi-autobiographical or autobiographical. Straight Outta Compton, Crush Groove, 8 Mile, Notorious, Roxanne. I'll kick it off. I mean, yeah, I was going to Straight Outta Compton. I mean, for folks that didn't grow up, they're not quite as old as us. You know, they don't really know the story of NWA or what these characters look like or sounded like or the trials and tribulations they went through. I think they did an amazing job of portraying Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, etc. I thought that was very well done.
Yeah, I'm going to have to piggyback and say Straight Outta Compton as well, just for those same reasons. I mean, my initial pick was Crush Groove, and then I said, you know what? Nah, gotta go Straight Outta Compton. It was, I mean, Crush Groove was semi-autobiographical because there was some, similarities, but Straight Outta Compton was the real deal, and you get that feel right away from the film. And I mean, that's one of those movies that I've watched it a few times. I think I gotta go watch it again sometime soon, just because I think it was so well done. It's so funny because now I see some of the characters that were in that played the group in other movies or other projects or TV shows, etc. But I don't even refer to them by whatever they I don't even know their real names. I refer to them as the characters from Straight Outta Compton. I'm like, yeah, that's Dre right there. That's my man Dre. Yo, Eazy-E right there. Yeah. I don't even know their real names. It's sad, but and funny at the same time. But that's how I know them now. It's like they're always going to be those characters. I mean, even O'Shea Jr. Like, yeah, I call him O'Shea Jr., but yeah, he's O'Shea. he
looks just like. I mean,
yeah,
he does. You can tell the family resemblance.
Those genes are strong. Mm-hmm. He's just a lighter shade, but not much lighter. But he looks just like him. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yeah.
You mentioned Crush Groove, and I'm just so grateful that movie was produced because it's like a time capsule.
Yeah. They
had the forethought to put this on film as they're growing up in the hip hop industry and literally building Def Jam Records, which was so influential. So you do get to see a super young LL Cool J, a super young Beastie Boys, very young Curtis Blow, Run DMC, Sheila E. So the Fat Boys. So if you are a real hip hop junkie, a hip hop head, I mean, that's just like opening up a present time capsule and for you to see. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And to this day, I'm still mad I couldn't see it in the theaters with my cousins. Oh, man.
And we can live vicariously through the Fat Boys as they ravage the Sbarro for all you can eat for $3.99. Oh, man. They went to town. And New Edition. Forgot to mention New Edition, too. Very young Bobby Brown and crew.
The shiny suits.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, this has been a great ride this year. We just kind of on a whim, like, let's give this a shot. And I think we've done some good things. We those events that we mentioned, we're still going strong. Everybody that we come across and mention, we have this podcast about hip hop movies. They're like, oh, that's cool. Let me check it out. So it's getting out there, word of mouth. And we were just checking some of the statistics. We have over 1,700 total downloads, and not only in the U.S., but people from all over the world. Little by little, there are folks that are tuning in. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you to all our listeners in Canada and India, as well as many other countries.
Talk about doing a live episode. I'd love to do a live episode in one of those countries.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Hip Hop Movie Club fans, tell us where we should go.
Hip Hop Movie Club, eh?
Start a GoFundMe, send Boogie to X country.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen one or two listeners here and there from Spain, Russia, Brazil, Chile, Germany, Kenya, Netherlands, Mauritania, Bahamas, Italy. So, like Rob Bass said, he said he's not internationally known. We actually are internationally known based on this.
Yeah. So we technically can't be Rob Bass anymore.
We are known to rock the microphone, but we are internationally known.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, big things ahead. So keep tuning in, and if you like this show, tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell 3 friends. Share the URLs. Give us a 5-star review.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll put you guys on the spot. This is something that I typically do at the end of each episode, but Dinah Wright, give me a don't hate off the top of your head. Don't hate.
Elevate. You used this before, but elevate.
I like that.
Nice.
Like the Air Jordan logo. Get up there. All right. Boogie, don't hate.
Congregate.
Nice.
There we go. Yes. Come together.
Yes.
And I'll give a don't hate. Accelerate.
Woo!
Yeah,
So when we come together,
Woo,
we can
woo.
accelerate at a faster rate.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to our year 1 retrospective.
Yes. Many thanks to you,
Years.
dear listener,
Yes.
Hip Hop Movie Club fan. Should we call them club kids? Are they club kids? Movie club kids?
Club kids. Oh man, that's cool.
All
We
right.
do need a name for the listener base. That's a good idea. Maybe we should have a contest of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Club goers. Yeah.
Listeners, who?
All right. Good
How do
job,
you
fellas.
identify yourselves? Wearing your earbuds? How would you like to be addressed? Are you a club kid?
Hey, what's another name for club goers?
Yeah. Clubbers?
Clubbers.
Clubber
patrons.
Langs?
Clubber Langs.
Or is it Clubbers Lang? We don't want multiple Clubber Langs.
Oh man, it's funny. I think recording this episode is also a highlight.
It is. We made it a whole year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. As every week, pretty much every week, unless we skip, but it's great. I know
Yeah.
everybody's busy with hectic lives, so it's nice to set this time aside to see you guys and
Yes,
stay in touch.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Are we done? Are we good?
It's a wrap.
All right. It's a
Yeah,
wrap.
I'm good.
It's a wrap.